Hi, welcome back to Lo-Fi Music Theory. It ain't fancy, just effective. This is lesson 20, dominant function. We've learned a lot about harmony and chords, and now we can get into more advanced things like secondary dominants. But first, you've got to know what dominant function even means. Here we go. You could summarize all of music as saying that it's tension and resolution. So there are moments of tension that want to resolve. So in harmony and chord progressions, the strongest resolution from one chord to another is considered to be going down by fifth, meaning that whatever your resolution chord is, it's being preceded by a chord that is a fifth above it. So for example, in the key of C, which we have here, if you're resolving to your one chord, C, you would get there from the chord a fifth above it by which is G. Now, before we go any further, let's be real clear. This is not a rule, because remember, there aren't rules. We're just speaking in terms of the guidelines and generalities. Now, you can have any combination of chords put together in any order, but going down by fifth is considered the strongest resolution to any other chord. So, since your ultimate resolution is going to be always to your tonic chord, aka one chord, and the strongest way to get there is by your 5 chord or dominant chord. Whenever this happens, it's referred to as a dominant resolution, the 5 chord to the 1 chord, okay? This happens so frequently in music, there are entire thousands of songs that are mostly 5 and 1 chords, or perhaps even entirely tonic and dominant chords. For example, I've written out here, Mary Had a Little Lamb in the key of C. And previously I had done a reharmonization of this song, but the version that you all know is just this. It's entirely the tonic and dominant chord. Now I can't play it with both hands, but I can do the harmony and do a hack singing job. So starting on the tonic chord, the dominant chord and the tonic chord, repeating on the tonic chord and dominant resolution to the tonic chord. All right, so that's 2 chords, all right? So why does this work so well? Let's analyze that. Now, let me make a little more room for myself here. Now, we're using the key as C because there's no sharps and flats yet again. So let's actually write out, I'm going to come down here and rewrite our 5 chord. Okay, we've got G, turn my mark around, G, B, and D, and it wants to resolve to a C chord. All right, they share the note C, they share the note G, all right? So they're sharing that. Now, the B, in the key of C, the B is considered the leading tone. It's called the leading tone. Remember, in a scale, if you're playing your scale, the 7th note of your scale is called the leading tone. It's leading you to the tonic, the 1. Remember, tension and resolution. We have tension, which wants to resolve. So the B is leading you to the tonic C. The D is also leading you here. If I'm playing down my scale, tension wants to resolve to the tonic, okay? Now, there are some who would say that the D wants to resolve to the E. There's some interpretation there, but others say, and I agree, the D wants to resolve to the C. So we have these 2 notes creating tension, which want to resolve to the tonic C. And then you'd simply add in this to create a C chord. So that's why this pull is so strong and the resolution sounds so good. Now, why is 5-7? Notice I wrote here G7, 5-7. Why is 5-7 so common? In harmony, you may remember from previous videos, when you turn these into 7th chords, the only one that is a dominant 7 is the 5. But why does the dominant 7th chord turn up in music more than almost any other chord? Probably, I think it's safe to say, more than any other 7th chord. So let's figure that out. We're going to turn this into 5-7, G7. It's now 5-7. Let's just label it properly, G7. Okay. I'll do it down here as well. All right, you've got a G7. Now, when you do that, you have created a tritone between the B and the F. Let's come over here and do a little squick. Come on, marker. I left the top off my marker. It's not writing that. We got a B, we have an F. When we do that, we've created a tritone. Let's come down here and show it. We got a B and F. Now you may remember from previous video, tritone is a very unstable interview. It's between a perfect fourth and a perfect fifth. Very unstable. It wants to resolve, okay? It needs resolution very strongly. So the B, it still wants to go to the tonic, and the F wants to go to the E. It's pulling you very strongly. So you have this unstable interval, which is pulling you very strongly to the C and E, the root and third of your new chord, in this case, your tonic chord. So turning your 5 chord into a 5-7 chord, dominant 7, makes that resolution. The tension is even stronger, which makes the resolution even stronger, and you still had your G chord, your G note there. Done. So piano players, you may hopefully you understand why the first chord you learn is, let me just write it real quick. The first thing you learn, and you actually do it in the bass clef, is this. Okay, you learn B, F, and G. Or I should say, the first 2 chords, the first chord you learn is C, and then the second chord you learn is G7, because you have this resolution. These are your most important chords in any key. In this case, the key is C. We start in the key of C because it's the easiest. So that is dominant resolution. And once you understand that, we can understand secondary dominance in the next video. All right, pull back just a little bit. Thanks for watching.